Hovatters were trying to get a tree in preparation for Christmas. Mr. Hovatter had tried to buy one, but none of the trees he looked at suited his wife. On the way home, Mrs. Hovatter looked over in the cemetery and saw one of the prettiest trees she'd ever seen. She told Mr. Hovatter to stop the car and go cut it down. "It's dark and no one will see us," she said. Her husband wouldn't cut down the tree at first. "It just wouldn't be right," he said. "Nonsense, no one will be the wiser," she insisted. And so he finally gave in and tiptoed through the cemetery and cut it down. As the tree fell to the ground, it seemed as if a voice whispered, "I'll make you sorry." Mr. Hovatter quickly tied the tree on top of the car and started up the hill. As he got to the worst turn, he met what appeared to be an old-time horse and buggy, and a man standing beside it. He drove around them and then looked back and saw there was nothing there. The Hovatters went on over the ridge, and when they were almost home, they saw the same man and the same buggy again. But before they got to them, they went up the side road out of sight. The Hovatters got home without further delay and put the tree up. Mrs. Hovatter trimmed and called the family in to see it. She stepped back to admire it, and there, on the top of the tree, was a statue of a little man in a buggy. She showed it to Mr. Hovatter and said it was the same man they'd seen twice on the way home. Mrs. Hovatter talked to the man in the statue and asked why he insisted on following them. Surprisingly, the man replied and told her that he had been killed in a buggy wreck and that, as long as the pine tree was on his grave, he'd had a chance to get to heaven, because he used to raise pine trees and give them away. But since she'd made her husband steal the tree, cut it down, and take it from the cemetery, she'd suffer for the rest of her life. He said, "I'll leave now, but you don't have long to live either. By the time this pine tree is dead, you'll be in your grave." And a month to the day after that, Mrs. Hovatter died when a nearby tree fell through their roof during a heavy winter storm.